Howdy doody, you guys. I want to talk today about finding areas of weird shapes. Sometimes, when you don't have a formula to work with, you're going to want to estimate, or you're going to want to have to count squares. So we're going to talk about some methods with that today. So I'm going to grab, let's see, ooh, this is a pretty blue. Let's grab a pretty blue pen to work with. What if I were to draw, let's just start off with something really simple. Let's just say a nice square like that. Now you know that, and that's not a perfectly drawn square, but you know one of the ways to find the area would be area is equal to base times height. So you count 1, 2, 3 times 1, 2, 3. Okay, so you know that the area would be 9. That's right. Another way that you could do that, if you didn't want to use area or if you weren't familiar with the formula, you could count the boxes. I like to do this by writing numbers in them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's another way that you could do it. But let's say you don't have grid paper and you don't have, and so you have to use the formula for it, so you know how to do that. But let's say you have more of a funky shape, maybe something that looks more like, let's just try something like this. Let's draw a triangle. Okay. And we want to find the area. So one way we know is that you know the formula, which is 1/2 times the base times the height. And if there's not a right angle, you have to draw in that right angle. There's no right angle in this triangle. It kind of looks almost equilateral, but maybe isosceles. So we're going to draw a line right down the middle and find the area that way using the base, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, times the height, which is 1, 2, 3. Sorry. So half of 18 could be 9. So once again, the area is 9. That's kind of weird. I didn't plan it that way, by the way. That just kind of turned out that way. Another way that you could do it, if you weren't comfortable with using the formula and you had a grid paper, you could label the boxes. You only want to label full boxes. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to come back to the corner ones in a second. So these guys. 5, 6. Now notice that those are my full squares, my full centimeter boxes. I have other little boxes that look like they're about half a square. So I know that 2 halves equal a whole. So I could go, actually this would be 6.5, and this would be 7. 7.5, that's a 7.5. 8. 8.5, 9. Okay. So that's another way that you can use it. As long as you can kind of gauge or guess how much of an area that line is cutting through the square, that's another way that you can figure out how to find the area of a weird shape. I want to talk about one other way that we can find the area. And if we have kind of a funky shape, I don't know, I'm just going to kind of draw something a little bit here. I'm trying to draw my lines on the line for you. This would be the same thing. 1, 2. This is actually supposed to be up there. 3, 4, 4.5, 5, 5.5, 6. Okay? One of the things I want to talk about, so you can label your squares, keep that in mind. You can also use a formula. You could have used a formula for that parallelogram. Sometimes you might have weird shapes that look something like this, and they're going to say, hey, can you estimate that? Well, you're going to have to guess because it's going to be hard to say, well, this square right here takes up 1/8 and this takes up 1/8. So if you ever get a question like that that asks you to estimate, what you do is you fill in the squares that have the full centimeter taken. So here would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, not going to count those. Here's one, 15, 16, 17, and I'm going to stop there, all right? Those are my full centimeter squares that are taken. Now I'm just going to guess for the other ones. I'm going to say that this one, and let's see, maybe, I don't know, this one will be about 18. So that's 18. Here's about 19. Here's about 20. This is going to be about 21. This will be about 22, those two right there. This will be about 23. See, I'm just estimating. My answer is not going to be exact. We're not in calculus. We're not actually going to find the area of this. So when all is said and done, it looks like my total area is going to be about 26 centimeters squared. So it's okay to estimate sometimes if you have curvy lines and you don't fully know how to find the area. Make sure you count the full squares first and then just guess about what other areas are taken up by your other squares. Okie dokie, that's all I have for you today. We'll see you later.